Hi, this is Thalia MK at Law 2.0 Conference, the Dubai Winter 2022, and I have with me Advocate Kanchan Talreja. I hope I pronounced it right. Senior Counselor of Advocate Kanchan Talreja and Associates, and she has been awarded for outstanding leadership, and she was at the three panel discussions as well. First of all, congratulations. Thank you so much for your time and giving out your amazing advices, something which is sensitive, and we will be touching upon it. Tell us about your advocate counsel. How are your work at your end?
Hi, good afternoon. Okay, you got the pronunciation almost right. It's it's Talreja. Okay, so having been in the industry for over 15 years, I run my own firm. Though I am an Indian passport holder, we have clients all over the world, and we have various branches in various states of our country. I specialize in criminal and civil law, especially family law that deals with divorce, maintenance, domestic violence, and we do a lot of non litigation drafting as well.
So these topics are very sensitive when it comes to divorces, when it comes to, even if, as you said, you have people from all over the world. I am sure because these are sensitive topics all over the world. It doesn't depend on your culture or nationality. One of the panel meeting you were having was about domestic violence and to break the silence. How you came across that topic and how many times you have to deal with it and how you deal with it.
So, this subject is very close to my heart. It has been, with the COVID and the pandemic times, people have been cooped up in their houses. There has been, with the surge in technology, there has also been a surge in violence behind closed doors. We, lawyers, as the ministers of justice, need to touch upon this subject and break the silence. While we talk of domestic violence against women, and there are laws in place talking against domestic violence against women, what happens to men? Men too suffer from violence from their partners, their spouses, from families of their spouses. I've had several cases where false FIRs are lodged against husbands and they can do nothing about it. They have to defend themselves. And on the other hand, when they are abused at home, when they face violence at home, there is not a single police station in India ready to register their complaint. In fact, men themselves are so ashamed to even talk about it because of our society pressure. And hence, this subject really needs to be spoken about. The silence behind it needs to break so that we can eradicate it from its roots.
I think so. When it comes to, I spoke to the someone about it in just near future, in near past, that men are not. It's stereotype. Even if you're from anywhere, India, Pakistan, US, anywhere, it's stereotypical to think that men doesn't go through harassment. They don't go through domestic violence, but unfortunately, women go through it a lot more, and that is true. Tell us, when a person comes to you, how hard it is if you are dealing with a stereotypical scenario where men has been abused or a transgender has been abused. How do you deal with that stereotype plus the work you have to do?
So honestly, it's very difficult. First, to convince them to talk about it, because it's nothing to be ashamed of. They need to talk about it to stop it from happening again. It is very difficult in our country. I practice in India, so it is very difficult for us to convince them to come to police stations to record their complaints. Again, we do not have the system of the support of the law, the judiciary. We do not have laws in place protecting these people. We have to go to courts just to get complaints filed in police stations, which takes years to gather. So it has been a challenge, and that is why we are here today discussing the subject to break the silence, to put laws in place for men Recently, we had a law that spoke about marital rape and criminalizing it. What happens to marital rape against men? No one talks about it. There has been a recent case where a man was put through abuse to the extent that the children lost faith in their father, as a result of which he committed suicide. What happens? These cases go unreported, and hence it's important we deal with them. More so, it is our ethical responsibility as officers of the court to bring the subject out in the limelight.
Um, as you're an advocate, and that's an amazing work you're doing, I really applaud you, and I'm honored to be sitting next to you right now. Thank you for that. How would you tell a person to, how can we stop? I know you cannot stop it, you cannot do it, but if you see the signs, or if a person, if a child, if a young adult, guy, girl, whoever, has the sign of abusive nature, how can we stop it so that it doesn't get to an extent where it becomes a violence, or it becomes a harassment, goes to the suicidal part of the scenario? How can you advise them, to me, if I see the signs in someone? How can you advise me, the parents, the partner, to deal with the situation?
So, most often, people who are abusive in nature, who are causing the abuse, come from a lot of emotional baggage of their past. I would really advise their family members to talk about it, to reach out to therapists, to lawyers, so that this problem can be eradicated from their family. People who are going through abuse, please reach out. Reach out to us. Do not hesitate. Most often, we see in society when someone is sick, they go to a doctor without hesitating. But when they have to approach a lawyer, they think about it twice. Why? We are here. We are here to help. And it's only when you reach out, when you talk about it, can we help you.
So, unfortunately, women, the youngsters, I won't say fortunately, unfortunately, social media has been one of the most key element, I believe, in goods and the bad, whatever is happening around. It leads to fascination. It leads to obsession over the details of a lady, going after, or something, anything. Tell us, how can we make it balance? How can we create a balance, not only for the social media, but also so that we are sure of what our steps, we are making sure of our next generation to be at balance, no, and to be make sure the abusive scenario or the cycle, we can crack it. We cannot break it, but we can crack it. How can we do that?
Absolutely. Rightly said. We can crack it. We need to break this loop here. If we accept abuse at home, our children grow up assuming it's okay to be abused. But when we stand up for ourselves, we set a role, we set a benchmark for our children. It is not acceptable to be abused emotionally or physically. You may not endanger the life of a person, but you endanger his quality of living, his self respect, his mental stability. Hence, we need to break this loop here and not let it continue with our future generations. We so easily stop children from watching video games or playing video games, but we do not think of those children who are seeing or facing abuse at home between their parents on a daily basis. That no one talks about that. It's mind-boggling almost. Hence, we need to break it now. Let's talk about it.
Thank you so much. As I believe mental health has been one of the issues, taking a balance when it comes to social media, filtered pictures, Photoshop, creating a lot of lower self-esteem and image problems. There's so many things to talk about, but yes, we need to crack it. We need to break it. If I want to reach out to you for an advice or just for a help, for a collaboration, how can we reach out to you?
So you can reach out to me by sending me an email on solutions@advkanchantalreja.com.
Thank you so much. And Congratulations. I am honored to be sitting next to you, a lady making a difference. It's a stereotypical crack over there already. And I believe if you see a friend, if you see a parent, if you see anybody with an abusive nature and you just don't do anything about it, if they're harming anybody, or you see the anger issues, if you don't do anything about it just because that person is your friend or a son or a brother, you are creating a monster and you're not helping that person. So you need to hold that person accountable for their actions, and everybody needs to make amends before it's too late. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much, and congratulations. And this is Talia MK signing off. Thank you.